Goldie darts wildly in her bowl, a tiny prisoner in a glass world. Whirlpools form as she spirals, her frantic energy a stark contrast to the still air. Lionie, a Siamese with eyes like sapphires, watches with predatory focus. A velvet paw extends, a gentle tap against the glass, masking a hunter's instinct. Goldie, oblivious, continues her frantic dance, unaware of the silent observer. She should be called Lionie, not Lionie, Goldie exclaims, unheard in her watery realm. Birds gather on the windowsill, their bright eyes fixed on Lionie within. Butterflies flutter, their wings stained with light. A silent, colorful audience. Squirrels scamper across the bookshelf, twitching tails in shared curiosity. Mice peek from the shadows, beady eyes gleaming with cautious interest. A chorus of nature observes Lionie, nodding in silent agreement with Goldie. Water shimmers, distorting the world outside the glass. Bubbles rise lazily in Goldie's confined world. Goldie, a small goldfish with bright orange scales, swims frantically in a small circle. Frustration mounts as Goldie's plaintive cry echoes in the water. "I'm stuck in here." Goldie's tiny mouth opens and closes, a silent plea for freedom, a desperate desire for change. "Can't you do something about her?" Goldie seems to ask, eyes wide with a mix of hope and despair. The garden bursts with color, a symphony of life as squirrels twitch, rabbits thump, and birds dance among the branches. A hush falls as a collective of animals gathers, their voices low, their eyes wide with urgency. Whispers fill the air as they gesture wildly, their faces etched with determination to deter Lionie. Each creature contributes to the plan, their fear overshadowed by a united resolve. With darting glances and beating hearts, they solidify their defense. A tiny army against an unseen threat. A lone mouse dashes across the sunlit living room floor, its tiny form a fleeting shadow. Lionie spots the intruder, her eyes widening with predatory focus as she springs into action. She gives chase, a playful hunt turning serious as she closes in on her quarry. Suddenly, shadows descend from above, an ominous sign of danger. A flock of birds swoops down, their beaks and claws threatening as they target Lionie. Startled, Lionie's eyes widen. Annoyance creases Lionie's brow. A quick scramble ensues. Lionie seeks refuge. She disappears under the sofa. Sunlight streams into the living room, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. A butterfly flits playfully around Lionie's head, a kaleidoscope of color against the domestic backdrop. Lionie, momentarily distracted, reaches out with a gentle hand, attempting to capture the delicate creature. Suddenly, a squirrel darts across her path, a blur of fur and frantic energy. Caught off guard, Lionie stumbles, her balance faltering as the unexpected encounter disrupts her pursuit. A moment of chaos in the tranquil living room, nature's whimsy briefly interrupting the stillness. Lionie, lost in thought, sits motionless, unaware of the tiny dramas unfolding around her. The mice grow bolder, their tiny eyes gleaming with mischief as they inch closer. A daring mouse nibbles at Lionie's tail, a tiny act of rebellion against the giant. The nibbles, far from alarming, only fuel Lionie's simmering frustration. Lionie settles onto a chair, seeking a moment of peaceful rest in the sunlit living room. The tranquility shatters as birds chirp loudly, their playful sounds filling the air. Wings flutter as the birds begin to circle around Lionie, disrupting her nap. Annoyed, Lionie shifts, her peaceful moment stolen by the persistent birds. The birds continue their lively dance, their cheerful noise echoing through the room, thwarting Lionie's rest. In the living room, a squirrel darts across the rafters, playfully showering acorns down. Delicate butterflies flutter, their wings brushing against her face in a dance of fleeting beauty. She shifts, a growing unease rippling through her as the playful scene turns unsettling. The once charming living room now feels like an encroaching, surreal space. Lionie enters the living room, her movements hesitant, her eyes scanning every corner with palpable apprehension. A sudden rustle above shatters the silence. A bird swoops down unexpectedly, its shadow momentarily engulfing Lionie. Her breath hitches, a visible flinch rippling through her as surprise turns to instinctive fear. She stumbles back, her reflexes kicking in as she tries to put distance between herself and the sudden intrusion. The room seems to close in around her, the ordinary now tinged with a sense of unease and vulnerability. A mouse darts across the floor, unseen danger in its tiny form. Lionie barely notices the creature, lost in her own world. I recoil violently, fear flashing across my face. A silent scream. My eyes widen, pupils dilating as primal instinct takes over. The mundane living room transforms into a stage for terror. Lionie sits perched on the sofa cushion, her eyes wide with curiosity as she spots something. A flicker of wariness crosses her face as she observes the small creatures. Driven by instinct, she prepares to dive under the sofa, her body tensing. In a swift motion, Lionie disappears beneath the sofa. Inside the goldfish bowl, Goldie watches Lionie, a glimmer of satisfaction in her eyes. Goldie's serene smile deepens as she observes Lionie. With a gentle puff, she blows bubbles, each one a tiny sphere of contentment. The bubbles drift and dance, reflecting Goldie's quiet triumph. Lionie oblivious, Goldie continues her silent, bubbly celebration. Bathed in sunlight, a small gang of friends gathers in the garden, their faces radiant with triumphant smiles. They exchange knowing glances, a silent testament to their shared victory and unspoken camaraderie. The garden air vibrates with the unspoken celebration of their hard-earned success. Each smile reflects a journey hard-fought and a bond now unbreakable. Lionie peers from beneath the sofa, her eyes wide with curiosity. She cautiously watches the small creatures moving about the living room floor. A moment of silent observation passes as Lionie remains hidden, unseen. An unseen voice declares, "The treatment worked."